Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this special council meeting, June the 23rd, 2022. I'd like to welcome my fellow councillors, and Councillor Ramsey is unable to be with us, as well as Councillor Snow. And I believe Councillor Duran, you're online?
Yes, I am.
Okay, welcome. And Deputy Mayor may be here, but she may be a little late. But we have a quorum, and I'd like to welcome members of the public in the audience. We have a small crowd tonight. I'd welcome Aaron McDonald, our engineer from Tech Services, and Linda Stevenson from Tech Services, and our CAO, Rob Philpott, and Brian Harlick on the left here on the controls. And welcome to the viewers on YouTube, as well as the members of the media watching on YouTube. So the first item on the agenda is to approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favour say aye. Contrary nay. Carried. Cambridge Street zoning amendment. Councillor Brian McFeely, the Chair of Planning Board. The floor is yours, sir.
I thank you, Your Worship, and remain seated if that's okay, closer to the mic so people can hear me on YouTube better. And we'll just get right into it with the background. An application was received from Andrew and Claire Carr for PID number 315267 to amend the city zoning bylaw from medium density R3 zone to high density residential R4 zone. The purpose of the zoning amendment is to allow an apartment building 5 units in the proposed R4 zone. The current property use is a single family dwelling with a secondary suite. Proposed zoning bylaw amendment, change zoning from medium density residential R3 zone to high density residential R4 zone, and the map showing the subject property at the corner of Granville Street and Cambridge Street is attached there. So a medium density residential R3 zone, the current zoning in our zoning bylaw 17.1, the purpose of this zone is to provide for medium density housing in the form of single family, semi-detached duplex dwellings, townhouses, row houses, and other compatible uses. So permitted uses subject to bylaw requirements in the R3 zone include single family dwellings, duplex dwellings, assisted living, semi-detached dwellings, accessory buildings, manufactured homes, mobile homes lawfully existing prior to 1999. Discretionary uses subject to council approval in the R3 zone include a child care facility medium, a boarding house, social service agency, group home, nursing care facility, community care and nursing home, tourism establishment, a tourist home and inn, townhouse 8 units per building max, a row house 8 units per building max, apartment 4-unit maximum, and the tourist establishment also requires conditional use approval. Conditional use is subject to development officer approval. In the R3 zone, the conditional uses include home-based businesses, secondary suite, tourism establishment such as a bed and breakfast or vacation rental property. So the high-density residential R4 zone, the proposed zone, the purpose of this zone is to provide for high-density housing in the form of apartments, as well as housing in the form of single-family, semi-detached duplex dwellings, row house, townhouse, and other compatible uses. Permitted uses subject to the bylaw requirements in the R4 zone include single-family dwelling, assisted living, row house, semi-detached dwelling, duplex dwelling, townhouse, apartment building, group home, nursing care facility, such as a community care and nursing home, boarding house, child care facility medium, social service agency, accessory building, and rooming house. Discretionary use subject to council approval in the R4 zone include a tourist establishment that also requires conditional use approval, and tourist home and inn. Conditional use is subject to the development officer approval include home-based business, tourist establishment, a bed and breakfast and vacation rental property, and secondary suites. So that's the background, and now is the time that we look for comments and questions from the public, and we would invite the applicant, I think Claire Carr is here. If she has any comments to make, we would certainly invite you to do so, Claire.
Not unless there's any questions.
Okay. Any questions of council members present? Or Councillor Durand online?
Nothing from me, no.
Okay, seeing, oh, we have a light here from Councillor McDougall.
So, even though it's an R4, how many stories do you plan on building? Is it, or how can?
Perhaps, Claire, I'd ask you to maybe come to the mic and just state your name and address so we have that for the record, and then if there's any questions, we can deal with them. Thank you.
Claire Carr, 197 Cambridge Street, Summerside, Prince Edward Island, C1N, 1N1. Yeah, so we're not planning on changing the building any more than it already is.
Okay,
It's just the internal spaces.
okay.
So we're not adding anything on or
So,
Okay.
doing anything, yeah.
so the footprint of the building will remain the same.
Yes.
So this map we have up, or the drawing we have up here now,
Yeah, that's as it is
presently.
now, other than the coloured squares.
Okay, so basically you're changing the existing single-family home and the secondary suite into 5 units.
Yes.
Right.
The secondary suite will just stay exactly as it is now,
Yeah.
and the hopefully 4 units in the main house.
Right.
Was that a, sorry. Oh, yeah.
No, I just, that was, it's a 2-story now, right? Or
Yeah,
just,
the main house is 2-story, and
Yeah.
then the other bit's 1-story.
one? Okay, thank you.
That was a nursing home one time, I believe.
It
wasn't
was, yeah, before we purchased it, yeah.
With probably, what, 10 or 12 rooms?
It was actually 15 little tiny bedrooms.
15 rooms?
Yes.
So this would probably be less objectionable and probably fewer vehicles around than before.
And there is sufficient parking for the 5 units?
Yeah, we can get 8 cars currently, but we could move the fence to create 2 more spaces if we need to.
I do have one more question, and it's because I was challenged with a situation this week. Is there presently people renting there now?
No, it's just my family and friends living
Okay.
with us.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I thought if there was people renting there now, and then the process, where do they go, right? Because
Yeah.
okay, thank.
What do you think is the timing on this in terms of,
We obviously would need to then get the documents from an architect, which I think will take a month, but then after that, I'm hoping maybe 3 months
Right.
at most
3 months
Yeah.
to finish it or to start it?
to finish it. It's actually already nearly the way it needs to be. It would just be for the building codes for the safety and the fire that we would need to do.
Well, there
Okay.
certainly appears to be a shortage of housing.
yeah? Any other questions of council?
Were there any letters of objection?
No, we've received nothing, Linda, Aaron? No. Okay, well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Continue on with the explanation of the process. In order to process a zoning bylaw amendment, the following steps are required. Number 1, the zoning bylaw amendment is read the first time and declared as read at a first council meeting. 2, the zoning bylaw amendment is referred to planning board for review and recommendation. Number 3, planning board reviews the application and prepares a recommendation to council. So step 3, that'll happen at a planning board meeting scheduled for July 5th at our regular committee night. The zoning bylaw amendment is read a second time and declared as read at a second council meeting. And that would be at the July meeting, Brian, which is scheduled for July,
3rd Monday in July.
oh, it's here? Oh, July 18th, okay, got there. The zoning bylaw amendment is read and adopted by council. The resolution will be either carried or defeated by a vote of council. If the zoning bylaw amendment is adopted by council, it is sent to the Minister of Agriculture and Land for signature, and the amendment becomes official. So those two steps would take place at the regular July council meeting on July 18th. Please note that in accordance with section 5.20 of the city zoning bylaw, any person who is dissatisfied by a decision of council in respect to the administration of this bylaw may appeal council's decision within 21 days to the Island Regulatory and Appeals Commission, IRAC. So a couple of resolutions there, Your Worship. I can
Okay,
read those into the record. Resolution COS 22-096, moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Adams, whereas an application was received from Andrew and Claire Carr for a zoning amendment for PID number 315267 from medium-density residential R3 zone to high-density residential R4 zone under the City of Summerside zoning bylaw. Be it resolved that zoning amendment 204 be hereby declared as read a first time. And I'll read Schedule B into the record, the zoning amendment 204, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw. The Council of the City of Summerside, under authority vested in it by Section 18, Section 19 of the Planning Act, RSPEI 1988, Cap P-8, hereby enacts as follows. The zoning for PID number 315267, shown on Schedule B of the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, is designated as high-density residential R4 zone, hereby excluding it from its former designation of medium-density residential R3 zone, and the map is there showing the subject property.
moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Adams. Any questions? All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary nay. Carried.
And resolution COS 22-097, moved by myself, Councillor McFeely, seconded by Councillor Adams, whereas an application was received from Andrew and Claire Carr for a zoning amendment for PID number 315267 from medium-density residential R3 zone to high-density residential R4 zone under the City of Summerside zoning bylaw. And whereas zoning and bylaw amendment 204, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, was read and declared as read the first time at this council meeting. Be it resolved that zoning bylaw amendment 204, a bylaw to amend the City of Summerside zoning bylaw, be hereby referred back to Planning Board for review and recommendation.
Moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Adams. I do not see any speaker lights on. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary nay. Carried. So that's the end of the agenda.
That's it, Your
So
Worship.
maybe you could just mention to, or that Mrs. Carr, that there is a 21-day appeal period.
21-day appeal period, and just a reminder of those two dates, July 5th to Planning Board and July 18th to Council.
And any further information you may need, just give either CAO or Mr. McDonald a call there. So that's the end of the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor McDougall and seconded by Councillor Adams. All in favour?
Aye.
Nay, carried. Brian will get us unhooked from